Were you just confused and didn't know if you should stay or if you had to go? The artist is ZZ Top. Welcome to episode 9 of Album Armageddon!
And we're back again. Welcome to episode 9 of Album Armageddon. I'm your host, Si Stevens, and joining me as always are my beautiful musketeers. Like a wolf howling at the moon, it's Rob Macaulay.
Well, hello! I predicted that I was going to have legs and I knew how to use them. But there we go.
Her mind is electric and she's about to blow a fuse. It's Cath Macaulay.
Hey.
Yeah, okay, I didn't get that one. I thought I might have some cheap sunglasses.
Yeah, I thought she was going to come from the planet of women.
Well, that was a temptation, but I thought it was too obvious. And he likes the chicken if the sauce ain't too blue. It's Stu Whitehouse.
Watcha.
How are you?
Oh, good, thank you. I put
pretty
down as
strong.
I'm a dirty dog on that one.
I was going for the sharp-dressed man.
Yeah.
Have you seen me?
He looks like landed gentry, ladies and gentlemen. I can only say.
Yeah, but he's left his Velcro
Or
Fly
a
open.
Jedi?
Oh, nice, Popo. Very nice.
So
here we are.
We are.
Episode 9.
Nine.
Nine. Can't believe it.
9 months.
Yeah.
We could have birthed a small child in that time.
Yeah, and also, ladies and gentlemen, may I say, I know that there's a bucket of scorn coming this evening, so stay tuned.
Yes, but apparently it may have been delivered to the wrong address. So, what is Album Armageddon? Well, if you check out our social media by going to Facebook and X and searching for Album Armageddon, you'll find an in-depth overview of who we are, what we do, and everything about us. The short story, however, is Album Armageddon is where we take 2 albums from a single band or artist, pair the tracks up, and discuss and decide on a winner for each track. These winning tracks then form the artist's super album on Spotify. We also have 5 all-important rules, and they are: Rule 1, albums must have the same number of tracks in order for them to be matched up, so on occasion there may be some creative licensing for this to happen. More on this later. Rule 2, no live arena stroke stadium tracks. These are all remixes, because these are normally found elsewhere on the album in question, or on a previous album. Also, no interludes or skits. We just don't like them. Rule 3, in the event of a voting tie, the host who chose the artist will have the overriding decision, so this month will be the lovely Cath. Rule 4, an album can only arrive in Armageddon once. The same goes for artists, unless a strong and genuine argument can be given for them to feature a second time. And finally, Rule 5, the host who chose the artist can use the Napalm Death card, which allows them to declare a track the winner, regardless of the voting result. However, this can only be used during the discussion of that track, and can only be used once per show. And this is a very much a passion and fun podcast, and as such, we do tend to talk about the key of the song and such like occasionally. But mainly you'll get our thoughts, our feelings, and occasionally stories around the songs. And as such, we get passionate, drop occasional swear words, but don't worry about hearing certain words, as Stu takes care of all of them in the edit. So,
You were just waiting for it.
it
Yeah,
was,
I'm
wasn't
just
it?
there. I'm just right on the button.
No, we're not going to say it.
God damn you all!
So, now all of that out of the way and out of our system, as our intro said, this month is ZZ Top, and the albums are Eliminator versus Afterburner, which was Cath's choice. So, Cath, why ZZ Top and why those albums?
Right, so ZZ Top is a band that I was introduced to when I was quite young, and I guess I've seen that they've made a bit of a comeback in recent years. They've been playing at Glastonbury and places like that. And it's just a bit of a sort of a nostalgic thing for me to talk about these 2 albums. So a few facts about ZZ Top. So, did you know they're an American band from Houston, Texas?
No.
Who would have thought?
I thought they were from Tipton.
Yeah, I know, right? They formed all the way back in 1969, so they've been around quite a while.
Wow.
The band consists of guitarist and lead vocalist Billy Gibbons, bassist and co-lead vocalist Dusty Hill, who sadly is no longer with us.
R.I.P. Dusty.
Yeah, and drummer Frank Beard. ZZ Top is renowned for its blues-inspired rock music, distinctive sound, and long-standing association with Texas culture. They achieved commercial success in the 1980s with the 2 albums we'll be discussing. Eliminator, which was released in 1983, and Afterburner, which was following that in 1985. They received numerous awards and honours throughout their career, including inductions into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004, but we all know that's a load of shit, that place. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything.
Did they get in?
They got in, but I mean, I wouldn't really say that was any particular accolade.
No,
by
true.
The
I made the still waiting on the
that
doorstep.
walked through that door. They're considered one of the most influential and enduring rock bands in American music history. A fun fact here, so the name ZZ Top comes from a combination of 2 sources. The ZZ part allegedly originated from the name of a brand of rolling papers called Zigzag. This is according to Billy Gibbons, the band's guitarist and vocalist. As for the top part, it's said to refer to being at the top in terms of quality, as in top-notch. Although putting the 2 together doesn't really make sense to me, but hey, maybe they were stoned and at the top when they put... I mean, it's better band name than Green Day. Yes. Okay, so to kick things off then, so the first tracks we're going to be discussing are Gimmie or Your Loving versus Sleepin Bag.
Before we do that, would you like to hear about everybody else's experiences with ZZ Top?
I'm not interested.
Right.
Thank God.
Rob, what? Okay, since you brought it up, what are your experiences with the ZZ Top?
So for these particular 2 albums, I remember these as a youth because I swear that we had these in the house on cassette tape. For those that don't know what cassette tapes are, you might need to Google that. But they're one of those bands that are a sort of mainstay in your peripheral vision. You know who ZZ Top are, you know what they're about, but you don't necessarily have investigated them that much. And of course, I think there's a lot of bands that have covered ZZ Top as well in the sort of rock and metal pantheon, shall we say, to varying degrees of success. But what's interesting is, apart from these 2 albums, there's only a couple of tracks that spring to mind from ZZ Top, which are both well before these albums and well after these albums. But what they sort of did post these albums up to around 2000 something is a bit of a mystery. But I think that these are the 2 albums that made them. And it's been very interesting listening to them back again.
It certainly has.
Yeah, welcome back to the 80s. Some of those sounds haven't aged too well. But do you know what? Stu's giving me a little sidelong look. So, Stu...
No, hang on a minute. Who's host? Not you.
My apologies.
So, Si,
she's
I'd
ruling
like to
with an iron fist tonight.
what your experiences are with ZZ Top. When did you first discover them?
Well, I found ZZ Top when I was about 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
And they did the soundtrack. Well, I say they did the soundtrack. Like most artists in the 80s, they have a song tied to a film, and they did the song that played in the credits of the finale of the greatest film trilogy ever filmed. Obviously,
Superman.
Back to the Future. No, Back to the Future.
I was going to say Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
And from there, I discovered all of their big songs, but never really got into them enough to know their lesser-known songs. Although I do own Afterburner on vinyl, and this is probably the first album that I own before we've done the show.
Right.
Wow. What track was on Back to the Future?
Back in Time. They appeared as a cowboy western band in the background on one of the scenes, and then they did
did they?
Oh, I'll have to rewatch that. I had no idea.
Ah.
Okay. It's not very much. It's not really a ZZ Top song as such, because there's no like wheel type guitars, and it's very 1800s country.
Okay,
it's almost a parody of what would be like Back to the Future is. It's a parody of what would be experienced in that time.
Yeah, they were in Back to the Future 3. playing a group of local musicians from 1885, and they did their signature instrument spin.
Yeah,
Of course they did. Yeah.
And also there was I kind of, because I didn't really get into them big time. They kind of went out of my consciousness until, and I think it was Dusty that appeared on them. He was the guy that did the "been there, done that" type words on Nickelback's Rockstar.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ! What? Well, now Nickelback's a separate conversation.
Oh, dear.
You have entered and survived hell.
Yeah, let's not go there.
No.
So, moving on to Stu.
Here we go.
I cannot wait to hear what Stu has to say.
Right, I'm going to start off with some caveats, I think. This band...
Which may or may not be accepted, by the way.
No, they'll be accepted. I mean, this band, at the moment, currently on Spotify, has 8,700,000 plus... 8,007,000 plus monthly listeners.
Okay.
So they're making a nice bit of chunk of change out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because obviously every time they play, even if they get a cent per play, they're still getting a lot of cents.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? One of the longest running American bands with actually, apart from sadly the passing of the drummer, that it was all the original
Not the drummer,
lineup, which
the
is
bass
bass guitar. Sorry, which is all the original lineup. I'm just thinking, my God, you know what? It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter whether I like them or don't like them. They've got it. They've sorted themselves. They're happy in their little world. Doesn't matter. Stu from the West Midlands knows nothing. I don't have any history with ZZ Top apart from when I was a kid. I noticed it was always that iconic car. What they have, and I knew of their. Which we will dive into there when we go to review the tracks, like the classic sounding ZZ Top of that time. That's all I know of them. I don't know anything about them. This has been a journey.
Wow.
And I'm going to leave it as that because then my journey expression will come out when we review the songs. I think.
Prepare your bucket of scorn.
Yeah,
hats,
prepare.
everybody.
Trust me, really prepare. I'm out of my wheelhouse with this band. I'm out of my comfort zone with this band.
Right.
It's been a very interesting couple of weeks with this band, let's say.
Interesting.
So
okay, good.
I'm going to keep that cryptic.
Right, okay then. Okay, great. Well, thank you for enlightening us. So we're going to talk about the first tracks on both the albums. So the first one is Gimmie All Your Lovin' versus Sleepin Bag. So a few facts about these tracks. So Gimmie All Your Lovin', it's one of ZZ Top's most beloved and enduring songs. It reached the top 40 charts in several countries, including the UK and US. The song's popularity helped propel the album Eliminator to multi-platinum status. And Sleepin Bag was a commercial success for ZZ Top, reaching the top 10 on the Billboard's Hot 100 charts in the United States. The song's catchy melody and radio-friendly sound helped it gain widespread popularity and airplay. And Sai, would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, okay. So, Gimme All Your Lovin' is, as you said, it's one of the most recognisable ZZ Top songs.
Yeah.
And was their highest charting single in the UK. Along with, I think they did a cover version of, was it Viva Las Vegas? At some point, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
Now, all I'm going to say about this, my notes are pretty short. This is, along with two other tracks, and you can probably guess which ones they are, is exactly everything I want when wanting to put on a ZZ Top track.
Yeah.
You know, it's the wheel guitars, it's riffy guitars, it's a drummer there having an easy day. But yeah, it's everything you want on a ZZ Top track.
ZZ Tip Top.
ZZ Tip Top. Sleepin Bag. Wow, where do we begin with that one? Hello, owner of a lonely heart. Sleepin Bag sets the tone for the album completely and how reliant we're going to be on synths for this album. I think they had a little bit of success with synths on Eliminator. And they went, well, if we had a little bit of success, why imagine if we made the whole album like that? I mean, the guitar solo is there, but apart from a guitar riff that jumps from side to side, there's little else. Although one interesting fact is the video for this featured the story of two thieves who broke into a house to steal a sack of... Fucking hell. They broke into a house to steal a sack of money, but are thwarted by a woman who is living in the house. Said woman was played by Heather Langenkamp, best known as Nancy from the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Well, that is factastic.
Yeah. But all in all, I think you probably guessed, for me, it's Give Me All Your Lovin'.
Yeah,
Right,
okay.
excellent. So that's 1 point there. Stu,
Hello.
over to
Here we
you.
go. Prepare yourselves.
So,
Buckle in.
Give Me All Your Lovin'. That is a classic ZZ Top track. I can't argue with that. I know, as soon as I heard that song, well, obviously I knew it was ZZ Top because I played it. But anyway, if I didn't, if you just played it me in a dark room, ZZ Top, I knew it would do exactly. Nice driving drum beat. See, I'm not all scorn. And very effective for what it is.
Here it comes.
Why is this band obsessed with fade outs? Tell me why. There are a couple of exceptions, and they're okay. They're good. You don't need a fade out, especially in a rock band. There's no need. Fade outs are not required unless you have got no idea how to end songs. Because you go, I'm going to keep on playing. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, the guitar solo. I'm not really a good. This is so unfair, really, on this band for me because I'm not really a guitar solo-y person, and ZZ Top, I think, are renowned really for doing the whatever lyrics, middle guitar break, and then lyrics, and then the end guitar break, and then that's their formula, really. But Give Me a Lovin', classic. Sleepin Bag. My notes for this: what the F is this? How on earth did a rock band as established and as respected did not get, I know, deference? So this song is awful. What were they thinking? The drum beat. Oh, the drum beat. Oh God, the drum sounds. My God, what were they thinking? Hello, Peter Gabriel, are you on the phone? Yeah, can I borrow your drum machine a second? Yeah, don't worry. You know the samples you didn't want? We're going to nick those. Oh, great. Okay, we'll put them on. Oh, mate, they're awful. The whole song. And they try and get really clever with the beat. They're going, oh, yeah, what we can do. I'm a programmer in the office, in the studio. And oh, no, they're awful. Bloody awful. Right, so guess where my vote's going.
Did you prefer, Stuart?
Now, you know, it is passion, this, and because I have no, to be fair, I have no backstory of ZZ Top, so all these songs are kind of fresh, apart from Give Me Your Lovin', because I've heard that, and a couple of others I've heard before, but all these are completely new to me. But it's Give Me Your Lovin'.
Right. Okay. Rob, what did you think?
So there's been some very interesting points raised so far. So what's been quite apparent is that the 80s was goddamn synth-tastic. So you remember Iron Maiden? They went synth nuts.
Oh, they certainly did.
All metal and rock was just suddenly full of synth, and ZZ Top are no exception. And it's quite interesting because they were building their following based on being what was essentially a three-piece blues band.
Yeah.
And now we've got to the 80s and there are synths galore. So the other thing that I will note from my perception of these albums is that it is very apparent that ZZ Top are the classic "We Are More Than the Sum of Our Parts." Because, to be honest with you, the only guy that really shines, if you took the three separately, is Billy Gibbons with his guitar solos. Let me give you a fact here. So I listened to Gimme All Your Lovin', which is an absolute classic. It's the sort of 80s cheese that is almost cool. It's almost come full circle and gone back to being cool again. But I will note, as a bass player, that the same bass note is played for the first 40 seconds of this track, which is remarkable. And then I think I only counted 3 chords in the whole thing. Now, 3-chord blues, okay, no problem. It's got that same backbone, but now we've got synths and stuff from the 80s coming in doing it. So I think only 3 notes in the whole song. The second verse had a lovely tambourine. Who can knock a tambourine? And then, of course, what he's quite well known for, Billy Gibbons as a guitarist, is his little pinch harmonic solos all over the place, which kind of, it's his voice. If you took his voice and those pinch harmonics out, ZZ Top would be absolutely bog standard, and again, it's more than the sum of their parts. So I liked there was some lovely hand claps after the guitar solo, lots of double track guitars, long solo section, and a long instrumental intro, if you will. But I also thinking when I was listening, I was thinking about Stu and his passionate hatred for fade outs. I think that was also synonymous with the 80s, with a lot of things, rock and pop music,
I think you're right.
As well.
So
they were obviously going with the times. Now, Sleeping Bag, I remember very well, and it has not aged very well. I thought it was kind of cool at the time, slip inside my sleeping bag. But when I listened back to it, very synth heavy.
Yeah.
Some of which is kind of cool, and some of which
can I just when you
dated badly.
Sorry, Robbie, but when you say synth heavy, I can't hear. I wish it did have a synth in there, or it was prominent. It's the drums. It's the worst sounding 80s drum kit I have ever heard. And if I was the drummer in that band, I would have sued them. I would have.
So I'm going to pull you up on that.
Okay, cool.
Because that is actually a drum set.
No,
and it's an
just
electronic drum set.
Bad sounding electric drum kit.
Yeah. So he is, because I was thinking, what's the point of having a drummer in a three-piece band if you're gonna? But I researched this, and they are electronic drums. And if you listen to,
of course they are.
There's no dynamics. I don't understand.
No, but that was the 80s, man. If you go and listen to Rush albums in the 80s with, the Professor Neil Peart on the drums, he's playing electronic drums. What is going on? He's one of the greatest of all time. So yeah, it's just synonymous with the times. So I thought, remembering back to when I heard it as a kid, I thought that maybe Sleeping Bag might have sounded really cutting edge at the time. But yeah, they should re-record it, drop the synths, or at least sort of update the fidelity of it. And it has not aged well, that track. So just for that absolute classicness of it, Gimmie All Your Lovin' wins.
Yeah, I'm sure live that they've got a proper drum kit on there.
It's got to be
probably would sound a lot better, but unfortunately, that's not what I'm reviewing.
I mean,
true.
What you
can also say that as of March 2024. Gimme All Your Lovin' was on the live set list of ZZ Top.
Oh, well, I'm not surprised. It is a classic.
Certainly was not.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I mean, saying what you were saying there as well, Robbie, about them being the sum being better than the parts. Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day when I was listening to them, and it's like, if you broke them down, when you bring it all together, it's ZZ Top. They're very good. It all comes together quite nicely. But when you break it down, everything they do, someone does it better. And I mean a lot better. Like their tongue-in-cheek lyrics, Aerosmith, far, far better.
Yeah.
Growly vocals, Bon Scott's far better. Guitar solos, Joe Satriani, far better. But there isn't a band with Bon Scott, Aerosmith, and Joe Satriani in it.
Yeah.
So, it's a hard one to analyse, because if you do break it down, you're just like, this is fucking shocking.
Yeah. But if you think about the period as well, all those 70s and 80s bands, we will never see the like of them again, because the market is so different. If ZZ Top came out today, people would say, you can't get away with this. It's rubbish.
Oh, yeah. Well, not just that, the lyrical content on some of their
absolutely. Well,
is a bit
things have definitely changed.
Yeah.
So Cath, are we going to hear a Napalm Death card?
Well, we'll wait and see, won't we? So what did I think about these two tracks?
What did you think about those
that
tracks,
is the question. So Gimme All Your Lovin', so I thought It had the classic sort of ZZ Top intro features. There's a drum beat. It precedes a signature bluesy guitar sound. It gets you warmed up for what's coming. It's an easy to listen to, feel good track. I really enjoyed the harmony of the chorus, which is also very characteristic of ZZ Top. Lyrically, not great, but musically, this hit the spot for me. And this great track evokes memories of happy childhood days. So I've awarded it 8 beards out of 10.
8 beards?
Yes.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Sleepin Bag. First, what an intro! It's electro-tastic, but it still has a trademark guitar sound. It's a much less pervy song than some of the others we're going to be discussing. And I think it's a great track, despite the dated keyboard and electro effects. It's still a classic in my books.
Wow.
Regardless of what sort of face you're going to pull, Stu. And this also gets 8 out of 10 beards.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna go with the flow and Gimme All Your Lovin' wins 4-0.
Yay. Nice. Clean sweep.
Indeed it is. Okay, so the next tracks we've got Got Me Under Pressure and Stages. So Got Me Under Pressure was not released as a single, but it remains a popular track among fans of ZZ Top. The lyrics revolve around themes of stress and frustration in personal relationships. Despite the pressure, the song maintains an upbeat and energetic vibe, reflecting ZZ Top's knack for combining serious themes with catchy melodies. And Stages, it's a mid-tempo rock ballad with bluesy undertones, characteristic of ZZ Top's diverse musical style. The song features soulful guitar melodies, smooth vocals, and a laid-back groove that distinguishes it from some of the band's more high-energy tracks. The lyrics reflect themes of love, longing, and the passage of time. Rob, what did you think of these tracks?
Oh, I was not prepared. Right. So I listened to what was on Spotify, which was the 2008 remaster of Got Me Under Pressure. And my first thought was very interesting. And again, not quite what I remembered. So my main comments were that there's a bass guitar in there, but it's underpinned with a synth initially, so you're not quite sure what he's playing. For me, Got Me Under Pressure it's all about the chorus and the open chord plucking on that. Again, another long instrumental section, 2 tracks in, and we're seeing a pattern. It's a very memorable song. I do remember it very well from back in the day. But compared to Stages, the synth blasts, oh my god, it was like listening to the Final Countdown by Europe.
Good lord, no.
I had no idea that it was so synth heavy from what I remembered. For Stages, I praised whatever deity was listening for that identifiable voice, because without that, this song has aged very badly. It's still got some great features. It's got a tambourine in there. Who can knock a tambourine?
Oh, we love a tambourine.
Yeah, and also it's got a really nice guitar lead line, not a solo, but a lead line on it. Total 80s drums, which I think we're gonna come back to time and time again. But Stages to me sounded like ZZ Top playing the school prom, and I'm starting to wonder about that comment that they were in Back to the Future, number 3.
Yeah.
Now, when I thought about that, I thought, well, this is cooler than everything else at the prom, but it's less than ZZ Top ought to be, because they shouldn't be playing the prom soundtrack. So I was really torn on this. Now, Got Me Under Pressure, for me, is more memorable, but from the historical interest of it, I actually have gone for Stages on this.
Ooh.
And I'm quite prepared to take a 3-1 drubbing here, but Stages for the win for me.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you reckon, Si?
Right, so Got Me Under Pressure. I really don't like that fake synth bass. Fucking hell, that's awful. And although Billy Gibbons sings this one exclusively, live, they alternate the vocals. Well, they don't now, obviously, but they used to alternate vocals for each verse.
Yeah.
And I think the song would have benefited from Dusty's vocals on this more than Billy's.
Right.
I just think it would have suited his more gruffness a little bit better. Although, all of that considered, it is upbeat, it is ZZ Top, it has a nice riffy guitar, and it's going against Stages. And fuck me, is that the most poppiest thing that ZZ Top have ever recorded?
Wow.
I'm not sure how I feel about it at all. It feels like a sped up version of Journey's Don't Stop Believing in places.
Wow.
It's like, where's the whip wheel guitars? Is it really ZZ Top? Yeah.
So I have to say, when I picked it, the word that popped into my head was curio. I've gone into the museum and I was like, what's this little unusual beast? Oh, it's easy to. Oh, well.
Cabin of the Mysterious.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just. I just can't put myself to. I mean, Stages was their second single from this album as well. But Got Me Under Pressure didn't even get a single release. So, mind you saying that, when you consider what was singles released from that album, I can probably understand it a little bit more. But I can't bring myself to vote for Stages. Just because it's just not. It's, when an artist gets that popular, they release like a B-sides and rarities album. That's where that one should be. It's like, it's not ZZ Top, and it's if you like ZZ Top, you probably don't like Stages.
Right.
So that's the first of the three that has come up. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So yeah,
But
Got
funny
Me Under
enough,
Pressure for me.
Okay.
So you say about it being super popular, but I don't know if they were at the time, because if we think back, it's these two albums that broke them really into the mainstream.
I think Eliminator broke them much more. If you consider the music videos for what would it be? Gimmie All My Lovin', Legs, and Sharp Dressed Man would have been released at the time when MTV was then looking at going big and record companies were pumping money into music videos. I think the timeline of the world would have put those three songs crossed with MTV launching, and I think that's what would probably have launched them more than Afterburner. I think Afterburner would be a case of they had, as I said, they had a little bit of success with Try and Simps, and so they thought, let's do it a bit more, and then fuck me, the 80s happened.
Yeah, so you're quite right, because MTV launched in 81, so these came out 84, 85, so they were right in the crest of do a good music video with an iconic car and some very 80s girls in...
some sexy ladies.
And it was the same sexy ladies on every video as well. It was it's very much like Aerosmith's deal with Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler back in the 90s. They've done a similar thing where it's the same women in each of their videos.
Yeah, true. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
Right, Stu, what do you think?
Yeah.
Not a lot then.
Right, let's go for the worst of the two, shall we?
Okay.
Picking from a bad bunch. Anyway, Stages. My God, 100% agree with Si on this one. It's just, what were they thinking? Actually, if it was a single, I hope it made them a lot of money and it made them very happy, and I hope the record producers bosses were very happy with it, because, again, the worst drum sound in the world. You're going to get a lot of this from this album, is the worst drum sound I've ever heard. The way the chorus is being sung is da, 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 da. Oh, it's horrible. Everything about it. But it's a love song. Well, what I've gathered from it, if I've read the lyrics right, I don't know, it's odd, so strange for them, I suppose, having a love song. No, not really. I mean, they're always singing about either shagging or...
I say it's very much tongue-in-cheek love songs.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, romantic liaison.
Yeah.
Got Me Under Pressure. I don't understand this song on this album, because this is the only song which sounds like it should be on Afterburner for some reason. It's got this really horrible Afterburner to me is just a really horrible 80s album. and this song, Got Me Under Pressure, has got that at the start. But when it gets going, it's okay. It's got its thing. It's got its signature ZZ Top sound. Bit of a strange lyrical content, but it is what it is. It's okay. If I have to have a gun at my head, I will pick Got Me Under Pressure. How about you, Cath?
So
That's
you're going
2-1.
So you're going with Got Me Under Pressure?
I am, yeah.
You are, right,
Yep.
okay, cool. So it's always a good sign when there's a bit of chugga chugga at the start of a track. And there's a lot of that with Got Me Under Pressure. But it's funny how I'm really familiar with the melody and chorus, but I've never really listened to the lyrics.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. The lady featured in this song sounds like hot stuff and is quite possibly a prosy or a dominatrix. Yeah.
That was a
What
leap.
even is a nightstick? Dare I ask?
Nightstick is what the police used in the 80s. They're like
Yeah, truncheon.
truncheons.
Oh, right, okay. Fine, right.
Could ever. Well, the mind boggles of what you thought it was without the American.
Don't put the batteries that
translation.
end.
It could have been anything. What is he actually under pressure about, though? Who knows? So I gave it 7 beards out of 10. So stages
Really?
a very upbeat melody throughout this love song, despite falling in and out of love, and then the other party leaving, and then coming back again. But you know what? He wouldn't have it any other way. And that was a lyric, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And yeah, I gave this also 7 out of 10 beards. I thought it was okay. I've got my
You've
ZZ
got a
Top
very
tinted,
thick 80s
I've got my
filter.
cheap rose-tinted sunglasses on
Nice.
with these songs. So I'm again going to go with the flow and go with Got Me Under Pressure.
excellent.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one I'm sort of more familiar with. That I've actually
Yeah.
got it playing in my ear at the moment.
But you've all ignored ZZ Top playing the prom.
There's a
I
reason.
think I can live without that. Sharp Dressed Man is up next versus Woke Up with Wood. Okay, that's where we're going, is it? So, Sharp Dressed Man was a major commercial success for ZZ Top, reaching the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in the United States. This hit track is known for its infectious groove and memorable melody. Woke Up with Wood is a gritty and raucous blues rock track characteristic of ZZ Top's rootsy sound. The lyrics are classic ZZ Top with playful and suggestive innuendos. Let's start with Stu.
Excellent.
Look at the excitement on that little face.
This is. I am now conflicted on this one. I'm 3 tracks in.
Ooh, okay.
And I don't know where it's. No, right. I quite like Sharp Dressed Man. The lyrics are quite fun. There's nothing bad about them. There's nothing good about them, I suppose. It's just a nice, fun, puppy song. It's got that typical ZZ Top sound, which works well again. I actually got my notes. Don't tell anybody. I quite like this one. But again, why the effing fade, man? Stop it.
For those with poor speakers or no headphones, Stu did say he quite liked that one.
What I should point out is the songs which don't have a fade, I think, from now on, because they all have fades and it does my head in. Anyway, Woke Up with Wood. What a funny song. But no. Drums are so bad, it's offensive. Stop it. But it's okay, because you got a bow now. Guitar in the middle is a little bit too long, and the outro is a little bit too long, in my opinion. But again, I'm not a guitar guy, and that's what they're famous for, so who am I to even comment on it, really? And then I put with a bloody fade and a teardrop. But I am going to go for Sharp Dressed Man because I do actually quite like that. Now, whether I listen to it again after this little endeavour we're doing, I don't know. But if it ever came on the radio, I wouldn't like be throwing rocks at it.
Right. Okay. Good to know. Rob, over to you.
So Woke Up with Wood, right, really made me laugh because when I was a kid, I thought he woke up with a plank of wood. I thought that's what the song was all about, and he'd been sleeping next, because I was too young to know, what it was about.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
Exactly. So, or was there a friend that you had who was just called Wood? And they woke up in the morning together and looked at each other and were like, "Oh, it's a new day." Anyway, so Sharp Dressed Man. I mean, it's an absolute classic, right? I really love his voice in this. It's a super simple song, but it's just delivered with such swagger and groove, and a slide guitar as well. Popping slide guitar into an 80s pop song, cheeky. From the bass guitar point of view, it was a great example of how the bass tone can overrule the actual riff. And when it underpins what the guitar's doing, the whole thing sounds fat as hell. I never got to see ZZ Top live. I know a certain father who has seen them live and is very smug about it, but that must have just been live. It must have just been great.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we're 3 tracks in.
Yep.
It's formulaic. Now, like Motorhead or AC/DC, is this the problem that it's formulaic, or is it just reliable? I don't know. That's for the listener to decide. So Sharp Dressed Man, and then we've got Woke Up with Wood. So I won't go into the lyrics of this, which are absolutely ridiculous.
Different time.
But what I do like, and what I have realised that I still like even today in rock music, is where you've got a guitar lead line that stays the same, and then the chords underneath it change. I'm a sucker for that. I don't know why, and this has it in it. But to me, that's the best part of the song, because there is just too much synth again, especially at the end of the solo. His voice also, bearing in mind this is the guy that, and if you haven't heard it, I suggest you listen to I Got to Get Paid by ZZ Top, where we are talking gravel vocals like nobody's business. But this one, he just seemed a bit restrained. Yes, there's a tambourine in the solo, which is, of course, as we all know, is second only to the cowbell. But just for sheer classicness. And if I'd had a couple of pints and it came on in a bar or club, yes, I would be shaking my rump to this. Sharp Dressed Man for the win. Yeah. And that's a sight to behold, dear listener. I can assure you.
Si, over to you.
Okay, Sharp Dressed Man, one of the greatest guitar solos recorded. Period.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
This is
some statement there, so.
I know. Top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5. This is track 2 of Everything I Want from ZZ Top. Riffy guitars, pinched harmonics on the guitar. I really don't have too much to say about the track, because basically, if this song doesn't get on the playlist, then there is something very wrong with the world.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Everyone should know Sharp Dressed Man. It's just one of those songs. It's quintessential ZZ Top. And that's kind of a huge shame on Woke Up with Wood, because this is also a good song. It follows ZZ Top's 101. It's got riffy guitars, it's got those harmonics, the tongue is very firmly in cheek. I can't really tell if they are real drums with a lot of effects on them, or if they're venturing into
judging by Stu's face, that'd be a no.
No, I don't think so. I think they're synthy drum pad style drums.
Afterburners are right off on drums, trust me.
Yeah, if someone said to me, play me a song to convince me about ZZ Top, but not one of their most popular tracks, Woke Up with Wood would probably be it. If I was going down the Billy Gilligan's vocal route, if it wasn't going up against Sharp Dressed Man, then I would be voting for Woke Up with Wood every time. However, it is, so I won't be. It's Sharp Dressed Man.
Right.
Excellent.
Okay.
I think
So far, it's Eliminator that all of its tracks go through, and not Afterburner. But is that about to change?
Oh, it's in the
Is it?
card.
Is it? Well, we'll see, won't we? So, Sharp Dressed Man. So, I'm going to start by describing exactly how snazzy this man is.
Snazzy.
He's got a clean shirt, new shoes, a silk suit, a black tie. They say it twice. Gold watch, diamond ring, cufflinks, stick pin, top coat, top hat, sunglasses, and white gloves.
It doesn't
Wow.
sound...
Cath, can I just ask, what is this guy looking for?
Well, maybe he's looking for love. Because women go crazy for this guy.
I don't know if they go crazy. I think they more just look at him and think, what the fuck is he wearing?
Well, is he describing the artist currently or formerly known as Prince? I wonder.
Prince of a water top hat.
Apparently he drives the women
Conspiracy
crazy.
Yeah.
That Chugga Chugga Bridge section is ace as well.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It's the absolute pinnacle of ZZ Top this, and it gets 10 beards out of 10.
10 beers!
Quite right, Sue. 10 beards. Excellent.
So then over to Woke Up With Wood. A song about erections.
Yay!
Lol. A bit crass, but still better than Katy Perry. Bit more of a blues rock guitar riff on this, but also really 80s keyboard dominated track, and it just got a bit much. So this only gets 5 bids out of 10. So Shop Dressed Man,
I'm sorry.
4-0.
For the win.
I'm sorry.
Nice.
But when you said this is slightly better, it's still better than Katy Perry, Rob had a thought and he went, oh yeah. As if you went, they are better.
So-
She's right.
No. I was thinking about this today, and
Katy Perry?
no, the whole idea of what was acceptable and not acceptable back in the 80s,
Right.
and what's acceptable and not acceptable now. So if Katy Perry's certain tracks that we discussed previously had been released in the 80s, it would have been absolutely fine. But then when we think about some of ZZ Top's lyrical content, if that was released today, people would go, "Oh no, that's a bit much," you know. And it just reminds me of in the 80s you had the PMRC. Do you remember them? The parents. It was a parents conglomerate against, you know, sort of dissident ideas in music. You know, and
Is that where
that's where the label,
the parental advisory label
exactly.
came from.
Yeah. And I remember you had the whole thing back in the 80s about you know, metal being evil, and I remember Judas Priest were in court.
Yeah,
at
they
some
were, weren't
point
they?
for
Okay,
backwards
right.
marching
Backwards,
things.
Yeah.
And it just made it was really weird how, you know, if you look at ZZ Top's videos and a lot of their lyrical content, if that came out now, it would be absolutely dismissed as sexist. But because it was the 80s, it was okay, and they kind of were stepping on the side of it's okay, it's cool. But then if they did it today, people would just go, "Oh no, this is terrible."
It's probably a
Can't
reason.
having this.
Probably the reason why ZZ Top and Aerosmith and bands of that area mainly release compilation and greatest hits albums now.
Yeah, I don't know though. But what about bands like Steel Panther, which still are operating and still releasing?
Steel
Yeah,
Panther?
but they are like a joke, but not a joke band, and they don't care,
Yeah.
and they're still doing touring, and they're still making money,
Yeah.
and there's still a market out there for it. I mean, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying that
Yeah.
people who go to their gigs are are that way inclined. It's just that they just want a bit of fun as well at times, you know. So it can work either way, really. So
Well, so
We're
the
all adults.
particular case I was thinking of. Do you remember Zodiac Mind Warp and the Love Reaction?
yeah.
So
yeah.
Who could forget them?
I saw them in 2000 and something, and he was still trying to be that sort of sexy early Rob Zombie, and it was embarrassing.
Like
Disturbing.
like Iggy Pop.
Yeah, and it just made me laugh how the things that you got back then wouldn't work now, and if the stuff that was now back then would have been all. This is very, you know. So anyway, sorry, I digressed greatly.
Yeah, anyway, so moving on. We've got I Need You Tonight versus Rough Boy. So I Need You Tonight is a blues-infused rock song with a slow, soulful groove. It features prominent guitar work by Billy Gibbons, characterised by his signature gritty tone and expressive phrasing. The lyrics are heartfelt and introspective, reflecting ZZ Top's ability to convey emotion through their music. Rough Boy is a slow-tempo rock ballad that showcases a different side of ZZ Top compared to their more upbeat and gritty tracks. The song features atmospheric guitar work by Billy Gibbons, along with emotive vocals and melodic bass lines. It stands out for its haunting and atmospheric sound. And we're going to go to Sai for this one.
Oh. Yeah, I Need You Tonight's a big change of pace from what we've had previously on the album. It's going down into the ZZ Top slow down blues style, and the track's all about the vocals for me. The laid-back guitars and drums just providing not much more than support for the vocals. You know where they're going at every stage of the song. With that, is it a little too predictable? Maybe? Rough Boy. Well, you know how I asked about if Stages was the most poppiest thing that ZZ Top ever recorded? After we got here, I realised the answer was clearly fucking not. The difference here is that it leans more into the Layla from El Loco territory. And it does have those pinch guitar harmonics as well, although it is greatly slowed down. After a couple of verses and 2 very short choruses, it descends into a rock ballad guitar solo. I don't know. This one's a tough one. I don't think I care for either track. It's like these 2 tracks are the filler songs. Rough Boy was the 3rd single. And I can see why, because we were getting into that time of music where I can see Rough Boy being a big, big song in American charts. It's the love montage from Karate Kid. It's that sort of song. You know, it's
Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah. Wax on, wax off. No, that was what Woken Up was good. I'm just gonna go Rough Boy. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I don't like.
No, I'm asking why, man. Why?
I don't know. I think it's just because of that guitar solo. I appreciate the guitar solo on that, and it is exceptionally long, and it does get into like Joe Satriani type territory where it is just an instrumental. And the choruses and the verses are very short in Rough Boy, so it is very much more guitar playing 101 for me. So yeah, Rough Boy, that'd be why.
Okey-doke.
Okay.
Stu.
Right. So the good thing about these songs, they are quite short, aren't they? So if you don't like them, it moves on to the next
There's
one.
another one coming along.
Go. So, I Need You Tonight. I have a very limited knowledge of blues, so I do apologise on that. But to me, it's a very Blues 101 starting kind of a song. You know, it's very, easy bluesy kind of thing. The drums are okay. It gets a bit of a pass though because you've got the ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, and I think every song needs a ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da in it. So I'm happy with that. Again, guitar solo's a bit long, yeah. But hold on to your hats, folks. It's the first song without a fade out.
Hey.
So you know what?
Honestly, you got to get over this.
No. So you know what, Si? If you couldn't decide which one to have, that should have been the song because it's got no fade out. Right. So Rough Boy. Oh, it makes me shiver. No. I put ZZ Bland. See what I did there? There is nothing really else to say about this. However, I think it could be safely inserted into the Top Gun soundtrack.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
You go Top Gun, I go Miyagi.
Yeah, that's it. So, but it's I Need You Tonight gets it. Because I do actually, I'm being flippant, but I do actually think it's a better track. It sounds better, and it just, it's not corny. The Rough Boy's just corny, and it's just, is that ZZ Top? Well, yes, actually it is. But, no, I Need You Tonight is a better track, in my opinion.
Right, Rob?
Fair call. I can't really disagree with that. So, I Need You Tonight was the first track that I couldn't remember what it sounded like. I sort of varied between, I know exactly what these tracks are going to sound like, to, oh, that's a bit surprising. I don't remember that bit. So this one, I thought I had a nice intro with a lot of sort of Pink Floyd style delay on the guitar, which was interesting. And it seemed to me this was the older style of ZZ Top, playing the club. You know, it's not dressed up with synths and 80s pop. This is where they came from more. So a couple of problems with it. Chord change vocals in the chorus I did not like. I'm Calling for Someone Like You. Just, I don't know why it grated on me, and the chorus was not great. And I also have a note saying, are they supposed to be doing Eric Clapton here? Yeah, so that was surprising. Guitar effects were really nice. I even thought I heard a slow volume pedal in there, which makes, for those that don't know what a slow volume pedal is, it makes it sound more sort of cello-like and swelly without the sort of guitar attack. Musically, I thought I Need You Tonight was really nice. Vocally, not so much. And I sort of wondered, is this maybe now considered the ZZ Top deep cut? Is the nomenclature of the day. But yeah, quite nice. Nice to hear them after 4 tracks in, going back to their roots. Now, Rough Boy, I remember very well. And while we've been talking, I've just been revisiting the video, which I remember extremely well as being actually quite cutting edge at the time, with their sort of faces on TV screens, but were sort of projected outwards. And yeah, quite technologically good. But song-wise, I remember I'm a Rough Boy lyric, but the rest of it is absolutely terrible ballads territory. And I will say that the thing that's leapt out at me, and Stuart will agree with this, is the terrible drum sound on this one. I remember this being much cooler when it came out. So again, I wonder if it's that synths sounded really cutting edge at the time. 40 years later, not so much, unsurprisingly. Yeah, and there are some other artists that we'll be reviewing soon from the late 80s who are using some cutting edge things that still stand up today. But this is not one of them. So I Need You Tonight for the win.
Okie doke. Right, so I Need You Tonight. Bit of a slower, less bluesy song here, but it's still got the familiar chugs and the wailing guitars. It has something of the sort of the late night 80s about it. When the vocals kick in, the song becomes much more familiar and cliched. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Can you guess what the weather's like outside? That's right, it's raining because it's the blues, baby.
Have you sat on that all week?
This track has some hilarious lyrics, notably, burning for someone like you, I just want to do love to. What a line!
I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am.
6 beards out of 10.
Okay.
Rough Boy.
Fair call.
Waily guitar, 80s-esque heartbreak melody. Not one of their finest works, and even the guitar solo left me cold. That's all I have to say about it. 3 beards out of 10, and it's lucky it got at least 3.
Wow.
So I Need You Tonight wins.
Yeah, easy. Is that a clean sweep for that one?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Rough Boy got a vote.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, did it?
I can't believe sorry. I don't know what I was thinking, actually.
Well, he's going for nostalgia.
Yeah, there's Mr. Miyagi's there with his cars.
Right. So next up we've got I've Got the 6 versus Can't Stop Rockin'. So I Got the 6 is a blues rock song with a driving rhythm and catchy guitar riffs. It demonstrates ZZ Top's ability to blend blues, rock and boogie into a distinctive musical style. The lyrics reflect themes of confidence, swagger and resilience. The phrase I Got the 6 means I've got your back, for those who weren't sure. I Can't Stop Rockin' is a high-energy rock song that embodies ZZ Top's signature sound. This track was created in collaboration with Jeff Beck. whose distinctive guitar style complements ZZ Top's sound, adding layers of complexity and intensity to the song. Kick us off, Rob.
Are they your own thoughts, Cath, or are they ChatGPT's thoughts?
Well, who knows? Who can tell the difference these days?
It just seemed to come so flowingly. So I got got two tracks here, one of which I remember very well, which was Can't Stop Rockin'. I got the 6. I couldn't really picture it very well. So I listened to that first. I like the riff. And it had a sort of older, almost pre-synthesizer feeling about it, which was just sort of dated it backwards even further. But what I did love about this song is Dusty Hill steps up to the vocal mic on this one, and you gotta love Dusty Hill.
Yeah.
God bless him and rest in peace, Dusty Hill. So it's got a bit of a rougher quality that Billy Gibbons can do, but he wasn't really doing at the time. Massively simple bass line, double tracked guitars, which I kind of don't like in a 3-piece. But yeah, okay. But this is the track that really reminded me that they are completely more than the sum of their parts, because the bass and the drums are so simple in this. So simple. But with the guitars and the vocals, it just brings it all together and makes a good song. They've got that magic, that sauce that doesn't run out. So Can't Stop Rockin', I remember the chorus for Can't Stop Rockin', baby till I lose my mind, or whatever it was. However, again, with Afterburner, I don't know what Frank Beard, who is the unbearded drummer, was thinking when he decided, I'm going to play drums, but they're all going to be electronic drums because it's the 80s. Really suffers from this track from electronic drums. The riff isn't as good. The chorus is just not as good. It's still got those blues chords coming through, the synth electronics. It's a good blues song, but nothing outstanding. I got the 6 for the win.
Right, cool. Si, what do you reckon?
Yeah. Okay, so I remember you said about I've got the 6 is about having your back. I'm my mind's in the gutter totally with this song. Right? Okay, so it's like I got your 6 would be I've got your back, but he's got the 6, and he's asking her to bring the 9. 6 and 9.
That is tenuous in the extreme.
Well, I thought
you were
a 9
going to say,
isn't a 9 a gun?
I thought he was going to say he misread it and I got the sex.
Well, same destination, Rob. Same destination. After banging out 2 of the 3 boogie rock tracks, probably destined for music and video Hall of Fames, this track closes off the first side of Eliminator. Remember, This is a vinyl era album, so this would have been the closer for.
No,
side
this
one.
was the cassette tape era, my friend.
Well, they're still vinyls. They're still vinyls.
No, B though, B-side.
Still B-side of the tape, yeah.
Well, I stand corrected.
And
Back in my
and
box.
I think you were pirating. You could tell you pirated.
Yeah.
No, we had the original version, I'm sure of it.
And I think that's going to be obvious when we discuss what the next tracks are. Dusty's lecherous observations, if his mind is in the gutter as much as mine, suitably backed up by a very propulsive percussion. And try saying that when you've had a few beers. And it's topped off with the cherry of Billy's slippery guitar riffs and solos. Can't Stop Rockin'. They're both similar style tracks for pace, but Can't Stop Rockin' It, and I think this is Beard's decision to do electronic drums, just makes the whole thing sound hollow in comparison. And it's again, the sum is greater than the parts, and if you take one of those parts away, being the drums, the song doesn't really hit as well. So for me, I got the 6 as well.
Okay,
nice.
Thank you, Stu.
I basically agree with Robbie and Si here.
Okay, moving on to me then.
No. However, I've got on my notes, which is a bit weird, because I have listened to it a couple of times. And I go, the start of I Got Six sounds a bit like Follow the Leader for some reason in my head. I have no idea why I've got that in there. It's the normal sound.
Follow the Leader by Korn.
Yeah, no.
We're following the leader.
Yes. Anyway, I like the way he keeps on like dropping in Spanking the Monkey. He's going,
Yeah, what the fuck?
I know. I know.
Well, sometimes monkeys are naughty.
See,
I really
this
should
is what makes me think
Sometimes they are.
my mind's not in the gutter for this song, because like, why would you go to someone and go, look, mate, I've got your back. Don't you worry, I'm right behind you here.
Seriously, sometimes on this podcast you do need visuals.
I really should stop writing the old same old, because it is the whole lot is same old.
Yeah.
So it's no fade out. Good, in my opinion. And I didn't mind it. It had that like driving beat, and it was okay. My God, Can't Stop Rocking. What? Why? Why is it even there? What? Yeah, you're right. And you know what? And the drum sound, I don't think he had a choice. I think he was just said. Remember, right? I know the confidential show of The Wedding Present, but remember when the original recording, they did record it on a kit, and then the producer changed it to an electric kit. Maybe they did the same thing on this, because there's no way as a drummer who you go nuances, and you know what, you know how to play a kit, you'd have that awful goddamn sound.
Yeah, but we're not talking Dave Lombardo here. We're talking Frank Beard, who's at best got
a good blues drummer. Let's just look at it like that.
Well, he's just a metronome,
driving.
you know.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah,
he's not a frill player.
And I have got it in my notes a driving beat, and it is a driving beat, and it's an okay. It's very basic, but it's an okay beat for what it is. But it's just a goddamn awful sound set they've got on there. But I really just don't like the way they sing Can't Stop Rockin'. Oh, it's horrible. It's just really, really just, and the do at the end. It's just,
I've just looked that up because I was trying to remember what they were. So it's no, I can't stop rocking no matter what they do or say.
Yeah, that's it. You know, it's a very status quo-esque kind of delivery of the way it is.
That's killing my joke that I'm going to make.
Sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. And but you know, I got the 6. I think I got the 6 as well. Would they release it today? Probably not. But it's more fun that song than the other one, which is just awful. So yeah.
Okay. So I got the 6. This song describes a guy who seems kind of bored, and I'm assuming that he's playing poker and needs a 9 for full house or flush or something to win his winning list.
Good take.
But the third verse takes a sudden topic change and gets all sexy. So I guess we're not actually playing poker anymore, because the I got the 6 person is admiring a pair of tits, but the owner of the tits is not interested in the guy, so he has to spank his own monkey. Yeah. I got the 6. Give me your 9. Is metaphorical phrase. Yep, I've been drinking. Indicating a mutual exchange or sharing of benefits. Who knew? 6 beers out of 10.
Not 9.
Sorry?
Not 9 beards. No, 6.
No.
Just 6.
6, because I got the 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if someone's got 9, someone else.
The joke doesn't work now, Simon.
Oh, okay.
Stop it.
No, I Can't Stop Rockin'. Goes back to the Eliminator style with its cracking guitar riffs and melodies. It's the ZZ Top we all know and love. It's a cracking tune, no matter what they or you do or say. No. 8 beards out of 10.
Wow.
So I can see that I'm in the minority here. So guess what I'm doing?
No way!
No way!
I'm slamming it down.
Wow. Excellent.
Lay palm death on your ass.
Jesus.
Nice.
Did not
Nice.
see that coming.
Is just unexpected.
Yeah.
Really, you've wasted it on that song. Wow, okay.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got 8 beards out of 10.
What?
Cool.
I suppose we better mix up the
I
album
hope that
somehow.
I'm not going to be regretty,
Well,
but we shall see.
as any keen listener will know, regretti is, of course, the Italian for regret.
Thank you there, Robbie.
Welcome.
So if you burn your spaghetti, you could be regretty.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lee.
Yes.
No, I get it.
So next up, we have Legs versus Planet of Women. It's a very interesting combination. So Legs, it's one of ZZ Top's most iconic songs, reaching the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts in the United States. Yes, I got all these facts from the same place. The song's catchy melody, memorable chorus, and radio-friendly sound helped it gain widespread popularity and airplay. The music video for Legs also received heavy rotation on MTV. For some reason, that's really hard for me to say, further boosting the song's visibility and success. Planet of Women. The song has a light-hearted and humorous tone, depicting a fantasy world entirely dominated by women. We can only dream. The narrator finds himself enjoying this world where men are pampered and catered to. Okay, now it's turned into a nightmare. The song doesn't delve into any serious social commentary. It's more about creating a fun escape into a fantastical world. And I'm going to go to Stu for thoughts on this one.
Legs, that's again classic ZZ Top 101. That's what you want. That's what, to me, that I'll remember when I was a kid. That's the song I heard, and that's what they're famous for. The video, if I remember, really a bit dodgy, like lots of ladies' long legs walking by cars. Is that right? And I haven't watched it, but like that's my memory of it.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So, and is that where they did the spinning of the guitar as well on that
Yes.
video?
Oh,
or-
they must have.
Yes,
They always do that.
I believe that was that video was the first time that they featured that.
The first one, right? Okay, I can imagine now that being very unpractical though to play, and then
But they actually
Anyway.
adapted their live guitars to be able to do that as well. So
yeah, because I think of radio ones, but back then they probably had a cable, and this cable just would wrap round them. And no, I don't know. I've concentrate on too much of the. Anyway, I like the keyboard paginator sound. So I really like that kind of thing. Anyway, so that's quite nice, and I thought it worked really, really well on this track. Legs. I don't know what else to say about that. It's actually a good song. I have got another thing about the fade out. I'll try and stop about the fade outs. However, let me finish. However, how can it be possible for a traditional 4/4 time signature bass guitar band to have a fade out? I don't understand. It's so easy to end a song without fading out. They can't fade out on stage. Surely they can't. Anyway, yes, Rob, you are right. I've got issues. I know that. Right. Planet of Women. Well, what can you say? It's a bit different else on the album, which the album's pretty poor as it is. So, however, I believe, look on my notes, this would be a perfect companion song on the Miami Vice soundtrack.
Yeah, okay. I can't fault that.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just so. I mean, the lyrics are basically the title says it all, and the lyrics aren't even diverting from the title. Really, it's it is what it is. I prefer Legs as the better song out of these two on offer.
Right. Okay, thank you. Rob, what do you think?
Well, interesting. I've just been watching the video to Legs while Stu's been talking, and it's that sort of classic Cinderella story where you've got a waitress who's being picked on by everybody, and then she has a makeover because of ZZ Top, who've got their spinny guitars, and then comes back and she's now the fox of the town. So, so 80s, honestly. For Legs, I like the blend of the synth and the rock elements in this. It actually seemed quite well balanced for a bit of a change. Again, another hooky lead line, which is synonymous for ZZ Top. Different kind of guitar riff for them, quite a spacious guitar, quite open. It's just so 80s, but it's kind of a cool 80s. In as much as Miami Vice was cool in the 80s, and now if you look at it, it's like,
cool.
oh my god, the shoulder pads. And it's got this sort of helicopter synth in it that is almost like a forerunner to 90s techno. Now, I'm sure there's no correlation between it, but at the time, I thought this must have been considered well ahead of its time, considering this came out in what, 83? I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. I thought a very solid attempt to win this particular track battle. However, Planet of Women, I heard a ride cymbal, which is unusual for ZZ Top. Normally it's hi-hats and drums, that's it. And again, it's got that chord change behind the verse vocals, which I am a sucker for. So, yeah, it's another song like Rough Boy that seems so much better back in the day. And I was expecting this one to come on back to me a lot stronger in my sort of memory of it. It's more upbeat than Legs, but honestly, I think a remaster would be in order for this. To get better sounding drums and a deeper bass. I was really torn by these two. I thought Planet of Women was a real good let's hit the desert road at 90 sort of track, but just suffered massively from the production of the 80s. But having said that, while Legs has got that sort of cool helicoptery synth sound, and I'm starting to make a bit of a departure from Eliminator to Afterburner here. Planet of Women just edged it for me.
What the fuck?
So
right.
the title track just made me think of like a B movie, Planet of Women, with the sort of, and I kind of thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, I'm going with Planet of Women for this one.
Righto.
Yeah.
Nice. Si, over to you.
Right, okay, all aboard the rock freight train. I mean, that opening guitar is a train, but yeah, choo choo.
Alan Freeman.
That opening guitar is a train bell. The drums are the chugga chugga of a locomotion. The pulsing synth, then the wheel harmonics kick in. Yes, we are at the final part of the Everything I Want from a ZZ Top song trilogy. Again, tongue-in-cheek lyrics. It's simply ZZ Top 101 all over that track. It's one of those ones that if you want to tell someone listen to ZZ Top, that's the track you play.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Planet of Women. I can see the ZZ Top influences on other artists in this one, namely Joe Satriani and Surfing with the Alien. They're very, very similar. It's not a bad song. It's driving bass and drums with a nice riff, nice little guitar solo. But, there's always a but, like the two other songs previously, it's going against my favourite trilogy of ZZ Top songs, and specifically Legs, which is going to get my vote every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
Wow. Can I just say that Legs is one of the tracks that's still, as of March 2024, in the set list.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Wow.
Yeah, of course it is.
It has to be. It has to be. Yeah.
Right. So
Cath, how many? Let's hear the beard rating.
I want to up the Chugga Chug rating for this one, surely.
It's an unusually energetic intro for a few seconds before the sort of the slower, more familiar pace and chug kick in. This sexy-legged dancing lady has a great pair of pins and all the guys are lusting after her. I'm not sure I needed to know about her pubic region. A little bit graphic with lyrics there.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
What?
that. Yeah,
check it
about
out.
The bush.
Yeah. 7 beards out of 10 for this one. Just really enjoyed it, but I do regret reading the lyrics.
Hang on, I'm reading lyrics now.
The
Wow.
Planet of Women, yeah. It's a dreadful title for a song, and this does not bode well. I quite liked the unusual guitar riff, which I can only describe as a bit stoppy and starty. I'm sure more sort of musically educated people could describe it a lot better than that, but too bad. That's my opinion. So despite the awful track name, the song itself wasn't actually too bad, but I can't remember anything about it because I listened to it some time ago. It certainly didn't stick in my mind. 6 beers out of 10. It's sort of average, not too bad, not great. So Legs gets my vote. So Legs wins.
Can I just ask, what part of her pubic area do you think they're singing about?
It's how long her hair is. It goes down to her nether regions.
No,
while we've
but
been talking, I've
they're
just
American.
Oh, so they're talking about a small bag.
No. It's like they're talking about her ass. It's like, yeah, basically,
yeah.
Americans call like the bum fanny. It's like, so they haven't got bum bags in America; they got fanny packs.
Yeah, that's true. That's not translated well. So I was trying to look up B movies called Planet of Women, and I could have sworn, but the closest I've got is a 1968 film called Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women.
That's
Right.
That's a lot cleaner than I thought your Google search was going to return there, to be fair.
Right, so next up we've got Thug versus I Got the Message. Thug is a faster-paced, driving rock song. The synthesizers provide a distinct layer of sound, adding a modern touch to the classic formula. Keyboardist and engineer Lyndon Hudson claimed he wrote Thug himself and co-wrote other songs on Eliminator, however received no credit, and the synthesizers weren't even mentioned in the album notes. Following a lawsuit, Hudson was awarded some compensation for his work. I Got the Message. This song showcases ZZ Top's signature blues rock sound, but unlike other tracks on Afterburner, I Got the Message doesn't have a heavy presence of synthesizers, much to everyone's relief, and stays more true to their classic rock roots. So we're going to start with Cy on this one.
Yeah, okay, so Thug, I think I know how this song came to be in existence. You see, I think Frank Beard was on his way to the studio. He turned on his radio in his car. He heard In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. And he goes, I can do that. Dusty and Billy listen to it and go, how the fuck do we not get sued on this one? And then slap goes the bass. And that bass is the start of this track.
Yeah.
It's not a good song. It's not good in any shape or form. You remember when we were talking about Green Day, when we said they took tracks and they sellotaped them together? That's what this track sounds like. It feels like it's been sellotaped together because it is such a sum of many parts. I Got the Message. Well, the message clearly is the fucking 80s happened. It's a good guitar solo again, but I hate that 80s wacka wacka guitar intro. You can hear the synths all over the track again. I don't understand where they're saying that they've dialed back the synths for this one, because it feels more synthy than most songs. I mean, it's dialed right up to 11. Again, like we said earlier, I think they thought they were going to get more success by dialing that synths up more than they did with Eliminator. And it really just achieved the complete opposite of it. It made the whole album sound very hollow. If you take the synths out of it, I think I Got the Message is actually a better ZZ Top track than Thug. But they didn't, so it isn't. So I'm voting for Thug.
Right, Thug it is. Stu, over to you.
Right, Thug is the first song which completely contradicts what Si said, really. I found it the only song, in my opinion, this is important, it was a little more interesting musically. Slap bass, interesting. Not my thing, really, but it's interesting nevertheless. It was just like this different thing. I understand where you're going with that head nod there, Robbie. Trust me. Slap bass is a hard thing to do, and it's a hard thing to get. Well, I think anybody can slap bass, but it's hard to get it making sound good. So, and this song doesn't really go there, but it was more interesting in my opinion. So, the 2 minutes outro though with the bass slapping, it got a bit too much in the end. It was just like, okay, can I? But I got the message. I don't even know where to start on this one. This is just what the no! Stop! Stop with the shit. It's like, come on. But I can't stand the start of the song. It's just horrible. It's just horrible. But then it goes into the typical ZZ Top formula of the guitars and what you're used to. And if you want to come to the ZZ Top party, that's what you expect. That kind of sound. However, the slap bass was shit, to be fair, if honest. But it was more interesting. It was like they were trying something different, which was not typical 80s. Now, Thug, that was 83, wasn't it? And I got the message was 85.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's like in 85 they digressed in the way they were playing and stuff. As in, I don't know, they relied too much on synths and things. But I know I'm waffling on now. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go for Thug just because I found it more interesting, and that's it really.
Okay.
So.
Right. Okay. So the man with his arms crossed.
Yeah, it's time to negate.
What's happening?
Time to negate all that has been said. So, Thug. Okay, we've got an interesting drum pads intro, and then it just seemed to slide in with any particular build up, and then, holy shit! Now, I like a slap bass guitar. And I can mention several exponents of that who are very good at it. Dusty Hill is not one of those. Now, all apologies to Dusty Hill. Dusty Hill knew what he was a very professional guy. He had his pocket. He knew what he was doing. But holy shit, do not play the slap bass, Dusty Hill. So, the slap bass starts off bad. And then at the 2-minute mark, it actually gets worse. Now, slap bass is not difficult. It is difficult if you're going to do something very complex with it. But if you want to pop in a couple of slappy notes, that's okay. Keep it chill. Little suggestion.
Robbie allows it.
But Jesus Christ, it almost like he was jamming it while recording. Because the time changes a little bit, and he changes what he's doing, and the decisions of where to slap and pop get worse as he goes along. And yeah, but the rest of the song flows along nicely, and everything else could have been developed nicely into a nice song. But that bass line should be pushed back where it belongs with ZZ Top. Do not fucking do slap bass, please. Now, I got the message. My first comment is, Jesus Christ, this is the 80s on full-on frontal assault. They're relying on that hooky guitar line again, which, when it works, it makes for an iconic song. And when it doesn't, it's not quite enough to catapult the song high enough. However, we've also got that helicopter synth that's back a little bit again. And I wonder if the difference between the two albums was previously they'd gone full on blues, then they had Eliminator with a bit of synths, and it was a big hit for them. Then they thought, hey, if we increase the synths, maybe we'll have an even bigger hit. But no, on retrospect, it didn't work quite so much. But if there's a deciding factor on these two songs, it is that goddamn slap bass. No. So I got the message all day.
Wow.
We must consign Thug to oblivion.
Right, okay.
Oh, Cath, come on.
So Thug. This is possibly the first song on this album that I'm unfamiliar with. So the intro is a bit different to what I'm used to, and I wouldn't have guessed it was ZZ Top at all until the singer starts. What's with that unnecessary funk guitar solo after each chorus as well? Personally, I prefer bluesy ZZ Top, but I guess it's important for a band to experiment with different sounds and try out new things, although not all experiments work out.
And don't do them all at the same time.
Yeah, the story was a bit strange as well. So this is about a thug enjoying a car journey, reminiscing about crimes. He wants to go robbing and stealing, and he's with a mate who busted out of Alcatraz, and it's no real story, just these sort of random things happening. So I wasn't overly taken with it, so I gave it 4 beards out of 10.
Ooh, 4.
Feckled.
So I got the message. So the intro sounds like 90s era New Order.
Ooh.
And that is literally all I have to say about it.
Okay.
And it also got 4 beards out of 10.
Ooh.
So
You gonna flick a coin?
Well, if I had one to hand, I probably would. I guess if I don't go with Thug, then it's a draw. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go with the Thug because it's 2-1 already. And
Good choice, Cath. Good choice.
So
It's made Rob's head
onto the,
explode.
I mean,
I just like to make him make that noise again.
Ladies and gentlemen who may be listening to the final Spotify playlist, please enjoy this prime example of how not to play the slap bass.
I mean, to be fair, that is a tough decision because neither of those songs are great.
No,
Oh,
They're
they're
both
not.
filler. They're both filler songs,
Lame.
aren't they?
Yeah, but there's lame and then there's offensive.
There's lame and then there's slap bass lame.
Yeah, and that is bad.
Okay, so we've got a bit of a clash of the titans coming up next. We've got TV Dinners versus Velcro Fly. So these both had music videos that I remember very fondly. TV Dinners was released as a single in the UK and promoted for radio airplay in the US. It offers a tongue-in-cheek look at convenience food of the same name. The lyrics explore the experience of a bachelor settling in for a night of frozen food and watching TV. So, not an overly exciting topic. However, we then move over to Velcro Fly. So this one reached number 15 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock chart, and 35 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1986, making it ZZ Top's last song to reach the top 40.
Really?
Apparently so.
Whatever.
According to
Wow.
ChatGPT.
Okay. Interesting.
This song takes a light-hearted and humorous approach, celebrating the convenience and ease of use of Velcro fasteners, specifically on jeans with a Velcro Fly. Despite not being one of their biggest hits, it remains a fan favourite for its catchy melody, playful lyrics, and embodiment of ZZ Top's ability to have fun with their music. And I very much expect it to be one of their regular tracks that they play at their gigs these days. Am I right?
No.
Oh,
No.
were they missing a trick
No,
then?
neither TV Dinners or Velcro Fly was on the set
Well,
list.
unbelievable.
I know.
So, Rob, would you like to tell us your thoughts?
Sure. So I've just been watching the video for Velcro Fly, and I
That was
remember
hilarious.
I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
this
I
one from you.
I remember the chorus being, do the Velcro Fly, as if it's like a do the twist again.
dance.
Yeah, which I thought was great. So TV Dinners, I don't remember that one as much. And I thought it had a lot of nice ideas, but when we talk about sellotape, I just wasn't sure how they put them all together. It's a very identifiable ZZ Top chord change. They have a particular chord they like to change from and to. But the problem with TV Dinners is they've got like a monotone chord in it. And I won't say this predates robot rock in any way, but it just goes on a bit too much for me, with a sort of like a weird little acoustic guitar bit and a nice sort of descending chord run. But they're all nice ideas. They're all nice ideas, dear.
They were nice dinners.
Yes, they were nice dinners, but they seem to have been sort of forced together somehow. So I wasn't sure about that one. And Velcro Fly, my God, that drum beat brought back so many memories.
Yeah.
And I suddenly thought of Wild Boys by Duran Duran.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's synonymous with it. The video features Dusty Hill playing the keyboards, and the keyboards are awful. It's got a ZZ Top guitar solo and keyboards, which completely great. And having not learned the lesson from Thug, Dusty goes for more slap bass, but this time it's better. He's had a couple of years to practice his slap bass technique. It doesn't seem so jammed out. So yeah,
Not offensive anymore.
it's quite acceptable. This time Dusty wins it. and we've got 3 instruments all busy and doing something, which is great. You know, that's what you want from a 3-piece. If you strip those synths out and up the production, this would be an easy, a steamroller. But it's got enough elements in it to win. So Velcro Fly.
Yes. Velcro Fly. All right. So, Si.
Yeah, so you know when you hear a song and you listen to the lyrics and you think, what the fuck are they on about? That's
quite a lot.
and you didn't go long. That must be a major metaphor for something completely different. I mean,
TV dinners? Or?
Yeah, TV dinners.
Yeah?
I mean, I can tell you, I've spent far too many hours on the internet trying to find out what it's about, and the most I can find out that it's a song about microwavable TV dinners.
I mean, the lyrics aren't that cryptic.
Yeah, I thought it was they were trying to mean something else. You know, they have a lot of tongue in cheek, and I was thinking they're going tongue in cheek. They're putting metaphors all over the place. But no, they are genuinely talking about a fucking microwave meal. Again,
may I quote from the line, I throw them in and wave them and I'm a brand new man. Oh yeah.
But what's the one that I love was just like this is where I started thinking it was a metaphor, is a 20-year-old turkey in a 30-year-old tin. And I was like, surely that's going against food safety laws.
Don't forget, back in the 80s, I don't know when the microwave was invented, but you used to be able to get microwave cookbooks. And this was seen as we don't need ovens anymore. This is the future.
They were the air fryers.
They are the air fryers of the
day. Yeah. Again, it is riffy. It has got a good guitar solo, although they're not doing any favours to Beard here at all. He sounds fucking awful again on the drums. Velcro Fly.
Poor old Frank Beard.
I know, he must have done something wrong. Velcro Fly. Now, I remember this song because it was on Stephen King's novel The Dark Tower 3, where the song's percussion intro is played via PA speakers into the decaying city of Lod, and are referred to as, wait for this, the God Drums.
Now that is a niche fact.
The city's
I'm disappointed with ChatGPT for not telling me that.
The city of Lud's population believed the song to be sacred and sacrificed themselves to the drum beat. They are not the only ones to want to sacrifice themselves to this fucking drum beat. In the audiobook version, an actual sample of the drums is utilised behind the narration. Other than that, we've gone headfirst into the world of synthesizers again. And it's just another example of, the 80s happened. I mean, go and look at that music video for Velcro Fly. And if you are not getting Saved by the Bell vibes...
It's great. I wish more people would rip off
it's
wearing a bikini underneath.
But then,
why not?
I remember the video for TV dinners, because wasn't that the one they used the clay animation for?
I can't remember.
Where they had like the TV dinner come into life with clay animation.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right, yeah.
So that's quite ahead of its time. It's very much Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer style era again. MTV really kicking in. As much as it's a song about nonsense, I think I'm going to go with TV dinners because I don't want to sacrifice myself to those drums.
Right, okay. So it's 1-1 at the moment.
Come on, Stu. Put us back on.
Right, Stu. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
So, TV dinners. It's a dirty sounding track, and it is when you listen to it, it's like quite drifty, dirty. I like the low end bass keyboard riff as well. I think it goes quite nice with it. Then the key changes, which is not the best, but then it goes back to where it should be. It's one of those. I've noticed that with ZZ Top. They'll do it. It's even before they get to the chorus. They'll do this key change, which is like that just doesn't sound any good. But then they go back to where they should be. So, which is quite cool. Now, is this their political song about how society is now sitting in front of the TV and eating their dinners? Maybe. Who knows? Or it could be a crock of crap. and they're just talking about TV dinners because he was just there writing some lyrics. It gets a plus because no fade out, so it's a good in my opinion.
Jesus,
I can't let it go, Robbie. Robbie, I can't.
Not have a fade out.
Yeah.
That'll be a winner.
I can't let it go. I just can't. Velcro Fly. The drums and that whistly sound at the start. Oh my God. Oh. Now, Robbie, why on earth haven't you mentioned the really shit slap bass keyboard? Not a bass, not an actual bass, the slap bass keyboard on that track.
Well, I've mentioned the slap bass, and I just said it was not as bad as the previous.
No, the Velcro Fly is the worst of slap bass. It's not even a real slap bass. That's a keyboard. It's horrible. I don't know. Again, they stole Peter Gabriel's sample library and have gone to town on the sample. Yeah, but I found the bass drum though. A horrible sound, but it was far too much in the track. It was just like, just ease off. You don't need that many bass drum for your kind of music. You don't need that many bass drum hits. What you're doing, just slow it down.
Well, don't forget, by then Slayer had released their first album. So perhaps Frank Beard said, "Oh, go for a double kick drum."
Double bass. Double bass is different to what they were doing. They were just like, double bass. So it's different. And it was far too much. TV Dinners is for me only because it sounded better because it was a dirtier sound. It was just more low key and better in that sense. So yeah, TV Dinners for me.
Okay. Right. Okay. So that's what you're serving us?
So I've just been watching the video for TV Dinners, and you're right about the sort of the
little monster.
The little monster, and it's totally Gremlins. Yeah.
So TV Dinners, it's a much more laid back tempo to this song. And it's very weird subject matter. TV Dinners, I'm feeling kind of rough. TV Dinners, this one's kind of tough. There's not really a huge amount more to say about this track than you guys have already said. It's quite chilled until you pop it in the microwave for 3 minutes. 5 beards out of 10.
5 beards.
She's knocking them out the park for this one, isn't she?
Yeah.
Right, Velcro Fly is another absolute classic, and not least because of the memorable music video and the dance itself. Having read the lyrics are terrible. But I really loved this track when I was a kid because the Velcro Fly is actually a slightly weird and stiff dance that my dad used to do.
Did he?
Which still, oh God, yeah. Well, some parts of the dance he used to do.
You know, I regret not having a video camera when we were kids.
Yeah. And it's not actually a weird fastener for trousers. 8 beards out of 10 for that one.
Nice.
So it's a draw though. We've got 2 each. So how do we decide? I get to decide. Velcro Fly.
Yes, good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Wrong call.
Oh, I love being the host. Okay, so next up we've got Dirty Dog versus Dipping Low. So Dirty Dog, this song showcases the blend of styles. It features a driving rock beat characteristic of ZZ Top, propelled by Frank Beard's drums and Dusty Hill's bass guitar. However, synthesizers add a new layer of texture, creating a more modern and polished feel compared to their earlier work. It's a reminder of ZZ Top's willingness to evolve and adapt to new musical trends without abandoning their blues rock roots. I can see dancing going on in the corner of my eye.
I'm learning the Velcro Fly.
Dipping Low in the Lap of Luxury. It's a blues-infused rock track that features ZZ Top's signature gritty guitar sound and soulful vocals by frontman Billy Gibbons. The song captures the band's classic style whilst also incorporating modern production techniques. The lyrics may explore themes of love, desire, or life experiences, which are quite common in ZZ Top's music. Thanks, ChatGPT. So we're going to go to Stu to begin with this one.
Right. Dipping Low. Is this just a remix of Give Me Your Lovin'?
Same. Yes.
Everything is the same, but it's the worst version of it. It's just because it's this album, so therefore it's got the crap drum beats.
I hadn't spotted that.
You're joking.
How did you not spot that?
It's just the same freaking song with just different
I'm an
words
older
slapped
guy
on it.
now, and
And honestly, I've even got in here. My notes are can't be asked to think of anything else. Let's just put some words on a song we've already written, but we'll do a worse version than the original one. So there we go.
oh yeah, now I come to think of it,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the chorus, and it's the same.
Dirty Dog. It's the same old, same old. I just when you were talking there, Cath, you were talking about did you say there was synths in Dirty Dog?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's mad.
Yes. Adding a new layer of texture.
I have no idea what I've been listening to because I can't hear them, or if I can hear them, they're not.
Okay.
To me, right?
Very
Dirty
subtle.
Dog just seems like a typical 101 ZZ Top song. There's nothing, nothing new, nothing. It is what you want if you like ZZ Top. There it is. I don't really get the over harshness of the synths or anything like that.
But that would have been the album where they were just experimenting.
Well, maybe so they were just like
they haven't
tinkering.
turned it up to 11. They were just tinkering with
They're
synths
just
at that point.
tinkering. The lyrics are a bit harsh. It's all about his woman, really. I mean, come on. He was just a bit like peed off that she fancied somebody else, I think, in that one. Sorry, Robbie, but there's no fade, so he gets it. Just not that. No, but it is the better song out of the two. I just dip in. It's just, I'm sorry, give me a loving. Now you hear it.
You can't
That's
unhear
it.
it.
It's there forever
You're
now,
right.
so,
You're right.
yeah, that's me.
Right. So, Dirty Dog.
Are you calling Dirty Dog?
How dare you?
Yeah, which one? Sorry, Robbie. Sorry, Dirty Dog. Which one?
What?
Yeah, doily dog. So what's been more interesting on my sort of grid of which tracks I preferred is that Eliminator started off dominating for me, but then side B, if you will, Afterburner starts to come on a bit. So Dirty Dog, I've got more helicopter synths. So Stu, listen out for the helicopter sound if you go back and have a listen.
Probably won't. But
Dirty Dog, I thought, was almost like Legs, but sped up, to be honest, if we're talking about comparisons between tracks. Again, he's got that iconic voice, but yeah, it just seemed a bit by numbers at this point, and Dirty Dog passed me by without much comment on it, to be honest with you. Dipping Low, now on Afterburner, we've noted that some places they've gone nuts with the synths, and in some places they've really stripped it back. Now this starts off with the latter sort of stripped back bit, and what I really liked about Dipping Low was the chorus with them both singing. Now, had I realised that I was listening to Gimme All Your Loving Part 2, I might have changed my opinion. But again, if we're comparing tracks, I thought Dipping Low was a better one, and I'll also say that everyone's favourite, the tambourine's back in there, so not to be sniffed at. Tambourine count 4 for this one. I've written Classic Top, but not realising that
it is Classic Top, but it's the other song.
Album, the chorus, Dipping Low in the Lap of Luxury, I quite had a sort of, I quite liked that. It was quite a snazzy little turn of phrase. So, give me your loving part 2 for that.
Okay, thank you very much. Si, over to you.
Yeah, so Dirty Dog, I was going to start with saying, well, you can tell that ZZ Top have influenced another band. But it's actually the other way around. Billy and Dusty obviously sat down, heard Duran Duran's Hungry Like the Wolf, and went, let's do this, but with more Whitwheel. So, there's not really a lot to say. It's just like what you've all said. It's a dirty little track. It's gruff. It's got guitar riffs. It's ZZ Top. It is ZZ Top. And in their blues type, sped up, boogie rock type era. Dipping Low, well, Stu, you fucked my notes right over there. I've got nothing now. It's like my notes literally are, they've sat down and gone, how can we replicate our success from Eliminator? I know, let's re-record Gimme All My Lovin'. But with different words
production.
And a little more synth. Neither track really stand out for me. But as well, I'm not going to be sad about which song goes on the playlist. So I am going to go with Dipping Low.
What?
Right, well, I mean, there really isn't much more I can add to what you guys have said. Dirty Dog, I'd not heard this song before. It's a song about a woman who cheats on a guy. She's just a scurvy dog with a mighty fine ass and a mighty mind. Yeah. Not one of their best songs, despite all of the ingredients of classic ZZ Top being there. I gave it 5 out of 10 beards. Dipping Low, yes, it borrows riffs and melodies from quite a few other ZZ Top tracks, which gives it that sort of very comfortable, familiar feel. It's not a bad track, not too creative because obviously they just pinched winning ingredients from other songs, but I did enjoy it more out of the two, so I gave it 6 beards out of 10.
Nice.
So that one wins.
Excellent. Dipping Low. So is that was that 2-2 or was that a
that was one. So Dirty Dog only got 1 vote, and Dipping Low got 3.
Okay, nice. So, am I correct that we're entering the last track?
Dun, dun, dun.
You are correct.
Wowzers.
Yeah. So the final track on both albums, we've got If I Could Only Flag Her Down. For a minute, that was going to turn into We Don't Need Another Hero. Catch myself just in time. Versus Delirious. So, If I Could Only Flag Her Down, this track showcases ZZ Top's ability to write catchy and fun songs. The lyrics are light-hearted and humorous, depicting the narrator's strong desire to meet a woman he finds attractive. And then we've got Delirious. So the lyrics of Delirious may touch upon themes of love, desire, and other experiences, as is common in many ZZ Top songs. The track showcases the band's ability to blend blues, rocks, and boogie elements into their music, creating a sound that is uniquely their own. For the final track, we're going to start with Stu.
Right, okay. I kind of like, If I Could Only Flag Her Down, I like the driving bluesy, and I really like that. I think that's really, really good. I even quite like the lyrics. There's a lot of screaming, which I think is quite unusual for ZZ Top because I've never really heard them scream. Sorry, Robbie. It's a shame about the fade out, but it's a really good track. Delirious. I don't know now whether I've listened to 20 songs and I've started developing Stockholm Syndrome. Because I'm even finding this not too bad. And, yeah, it has got a fade out, yada, yada. But it's all right. I'm wishing, right, my whole voting for this whole thing is only being an Eliminator. Okay. I've not voted for one track of Afterburner because I think it's a god-awful album. It's awful.
Wow. I was wondering where the score
this song, though, is
and now we're arriving.
Yeah. This song is the only song which goes, oh, okay, this is a bit different. This is all right. I quite like this. However, I don't know if it's Stockholm Syndrome. No idea at this point. I am going to go for If I Could Only Flag Her Down, just because I prefer the jug, and I think it's awesome. It's a really nice sounding bit. It's a lot better. But the two, like if Delirious was against another song, maybe like Dirty Dog or TV Dinners, I probably would have gone for Delirious. To be fair, it's just only because it's against this track, and the rules are we're going track against track. So I do think If Only Could Flag Her Down is the better track. So, but hey, I give some props there to Delirious, which is an Afterburner track, the only track I've given props to.
Before you move on, Cath, I've just got a bit of a theory about fade outs. So. We've had a few tracks in the Aces which fade out, and I wonder whether that is because we're talking about rock bands who, in the live arena, would have extended that and jammed it out and, played around with it. But because of the format of the time, and we're trying to have 3-minute hit singles.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done with that. You can't go on for 7-8 minutes. We need to cut it now. So that's where we're going to fade it out. But live... You've got complete freedom to jam that out and develop it and go places with it. I'm just throwing it out there. So.
Yeah, no, well, I've got the opposite opinion. I think they just did it because it was the cool thing to do at the time.
Ah, could be.
You've also got the fact of like the 7-inch single as well. It's like they used to release 7-inch singles and 12-inch singles, and the 12-inch was always an extended.
You mean the 45?
Yes, the 45s.
No one calls them 7-inch singles. They're the 45.
But they would always be the shorter track, and obviously the radio airplay, the radio edit you would normally find etched on the label. But the 12-inch would always be the extended play. So I wonder if what you got with the fade out on the album it was also a way of filling the space on an album.
Yeah, maybe
you could let it carry on, because some of those fade outs on some of these tracks, the solo goes on and on and on.
This is my problem with fade outs. To be fair, I don't really have a problem with fade outs. I don't.
Lies.
I know it sounds like I do.
You sit on a throne of lies, man.
I'm calling bullshit.
No,
on that.
listen to me. No, it's just when that does not require a fade out. I'm sorry, but a band like this do not require a fade out. They can end a song.
Yeah.
They play these live constantly. How long have they been touring? For 50 years or something?
Like that, yeah.
40. I'm sorry, they know how to end a fucking song. Why are they? They don't need to fade nothing out. And but there's sometimes when there's like dance tracks and things like that. Yes, there'll be a fade out, and there's normally a transition to another track and things like that. Fade outs have their places, but in a band like this, and rock bands, I just don't think it's required.
Well, the only problem I have with the fade out is that often there'll be some sort of soloing going on or chord change that wasn't in the main song.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I'm interested in that. Don't fade it out. Let me hear it a bit more. But it's gone.
Yeah.
So
you are right, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, there we go. We've got to the root of Stuart's psychosis on that one.
So, Rob, what do you think about If I Could Only Flag Her Down versus Delirious?
Well, thank you very much for coming to me, dear host. So, as these are, as what we're regarding the end tracks, because there are bonus tracks and special issues or whatever, I thought If I Could Only Flag Her Down was a great way to finish a ZZ Top album. Yes, we've had synths. Yes, we've had experimentation and hits and stuff.
Yes, we've had fade outs.
And we've had fade outs. But now we're going right back to the blues bar where they started, and we're putting some boogie woogie swing in, and we're putting some shuffle drum beats in, and we're putting some really raw and groovy stuff in. And this is a great album closer to say, yeah, we can do all that, but this is what we're really about, And if you dig that, you're gonna be with this band forever. So there we go.
Would you like a whiskey with your blues ending?
Oh, yeah, I would love a whiskey with my blues ending. So Delirious has got one big problem in it's got a synth voice singing Delirious, and that really grates on me.
I forgot about
You'd
that.
forgotten about that. Yeah. Delirious. And there's some sort of electronic blasts that go on as well, which do not sit well with me. So when we've got stripped back on If I Could Only Flag Her Down, they should just strip back Delirious and create a good rock song with less electronics. Case in point, don't have open synth bass lines in the middle eight, just have a deep resonating bass guitar. That'll do, and make it busy. It's a good song at its core, but with that synth voice and the boogie woogie, If I Could Only Flag Her Down, it cannot compete. So If I Could Only Flag Her Down for the win.
Okay.
Good choice.
Right. Si, over to you.
Well, I've only got 4 words for If Only I Could Flag Her Down, really. Dusty vocals, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you get super soupy 70s Aerosmith vibes from this one with the boogie rock as well. Riffy guitars, bass and drums all do what you expect them to do on a boogie rock track. Swingy solo caps off the track and the album quite nicely.
Mm-hmm.
However, like we were saying, Delirious has it as well. It's they've been tinkering with their synths. So I think you said it, Robbie. They tinkering with their synths and they're going back and saying, "Look, that we've done all that. This is what we're all about."
Yeah,
and I want to hear more of this. So technically, If Only I Could Flag Her Down is the fade out of the whole album, because they've changed up everything they've done on the album, gone back to this, and it's like, I want to hear more of that now, and it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. It's over. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh. Delirious, more dusty vocals, that fucking synth on that voice. It's just delirious. Delirious. But it is dusty vocals. He did just add a different dimension to a track when he takes over the vocals. But yeah, those synths are just unfortunately more and more prevalent, and I think this track was probably the genre's brave but ultimately futile final throes of battle against the period's reliance on synths. But on the plus side, it ain't a saxophone.
That's a good point.
But yeah, I'll go with If Only I Could Flag It Down, because it is just a great album closer, even though it's not officially the album closer on the album, but for our creative licenses, it is. But yeah, it's both tracks would probably be okay to end it, but If Only I Could Flag It Down definitely gets it for me.
Nice.
Okay.
So before we go back to our host for the final say here, so I listened to If I Could Only Flag It Down, and then of course Spotify played the next track, which may have been a bonus track or whatever, called Bad Girl. Now, for those of you who are listening to the Spotify playlist after this, don't venture into Bad Girl, because straight after that, Spotify decided to play the band Cinderella. So you have been warned. That is where that trend goes. So back to our illustrious host.
Right, welcome back, everyone. So If I Could Only Flag Her Down, it's got a really nice blues rock intro, a much more classically blues than some of the other songs on the album. The guitar solo after the first verse is excellent, and I would have loved to have seen them perform this song in a small venue, because it's just got that sort of small venue vibes to it. Really enjoyable. You need a whiskey, it's a great track. He wants to meet her, squeeze her, crash her, trash her. Is she a car or a woman?
Spin her, flip her, send her to the moon.
It's a fantastic track to finish an iconic album, in my opinion, and I give it 9 beards out of 10. So this might actually be the highest scoring track.
Nice.
Yes.
So then we got Delirious. Pow! Rock guitar intro and high energy track. Great tempo and melody, but that vocal effect, it's really off-putting.
Delirious.
Yeah. It's dreadful. I also sort of paid a bit more attention to the drumming than usual, and I just thought this is going to be very upsetting to Stu. I didn't think the drumming was all that. The bridge also loses it a bit with the shifting tempo and the dodgy keyboards. But overall, I didn't think it was a terrible track, and it's a lot more aggressive than a lot of the other tracks on the album. There are worse tracks than this, but also better tracks, so it's got a very average 6 beards out of 10. So we are unanimous.
Yeah.
If I Could Only Flag Her Down, 4, and Delirious, 0.
Nice. Nice. Can I just also say, shout out to Jules Haswet of the Album Armageddon Facebook group, who has posed a question to Sai. Exactly how many songs does Sai have in his top 5?
There may be a few, but that's that top 5 question.
You just vacuum seal them.
Yeah.
You can fit in.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Stu, tell me, please, what is going on the playlist?
Right, the playlist is majority Eliminator, but we'll just go through it and we'll see what's going on. So, Gimmie, Lovin, Got Me Under Pressure, Sharp Dressed Man, I Need You Tonight, Can't Stop Rockin', oh, why?
No Pond Death.
Legs, Thug, Velcro Fly, Dipping Low,
In the lap of luxury.
and if I could only flag her down, that is the playlist.
Yay!
Hey, nice. Well, you let Thug go in, so I mean, you got no comment to make about that.
Simon, what are we going to call this playlist?
We are going to call this playlist a Limmerburner.
Hey, a Limmerburner. You have to say a Limmerburner or Limmerburner.
A Limmerburner. Eliminator.
say it.
Or you can do that really awful Delirious voice. Eliminator.
And that can be found on Spotify by searching for the title of the playlist or searching for the Album Armageddon profile. Or alternatively, joining the Album Armageddon Facebook group, where you will find a pinned post right at the top of that group that links directly to all of our playlists from the archive, as well as some other shenanigans going on with our ever-growing community there. The last thing we ask you to do is drop us a 5-star review on the platform you're listening to right now, as well as share the podcast and group on your social media platforms of choice. And that just leaves us to put a bow on this episode to tell you that next month we will be featuring the most unwell men in music, and to say goodbye. So say goodbye, Cath.
My name's Mike D.
Say goodbye, Stu.
Bye-bye.
And say goodbye, Rob.
Yeah, boy!
And until next time, see you all then.
Bye.
See you later.
Right. So, do you just want to bring it in? Introduce me, bring
I'll
you
do
the
it,
track
if you
set,
like.
Kath.
Or Cath, do you want to do it?
Or,
Come on.
Yeah, I'm the host.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do I need to say?